After you.
Thank you.
So I've never been to this place.
I have, and I've been to the original one in Richmond many times. It's absolutely delightful.
Is it?
You should go.
Okay, for my garden.
Yes.
That I don't spend enough time in. Let's take these two seats here and we can have a bit more of a chat.
Yep.
So, Annette, you've been in the role for a year, just celebrated a year in
This
the job.
week.
This week.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you. They got me a balloon.
Did they?
Yep.
Was that it?
Yeah.
How have you found the first year?
It's been great. I've had a lot to learn because it's different from where I've come from, where I was for a very long time, but also because I'm doing quite a different job. So I'm used to running an agency, and I've gone to a holding company position. So I'm now responsible for 30 or so different agencies with different cultures and different ways of doing things. So that's been quite a learning curve, which I've enjoyed. And that's one of the reasons I took the job, was because it was different from what I've done before.
One thing that's always fascinated me about your organisation is the strength of your creative agencies. You know, you've got some of the best creative agencies in the UK and globally. And if we think about collaboration and people working together, you know, how have you managed, or does it happen?
So Power of One is the overarching strategy for Publicis Groupe, and really it means that we bring together the best talent from across the group for the greater good of the client. And it basically means that we just bring the most appropriate, the most well-fitting talent to whatever it is that the client needs us to do, without any walls or barriers within the group.
Okay.
But it's really important that the brands remain strong and that they keep their very distinct cultures, and that they're successful in their own right. And it's the balance between the two of those things, which is really important, that I think we've got really right. OK. Are there things that you're doing within the individual brands to make sure that the cultural identity stays really, really strong? So we've got 5 campuses across London, with various agencies inhabiting those campuses. So at one level you've got Sapient in its own building, and it's just Sapient. All the media agencies moved over the course of sort of February, March, April. They're all in now. So what we did was we gave each agency freedom to furnish and decorate and sort of brand their own floor. And then they've got their things that they do. So Saatchi's have got 2 wonderful women who have been the receptionists for 20-something years. They're still there. Leo's have got someone who's also been there for decades, and they've got their apples, and they've got the things that they do that make them... They've had apples on the front desk of every office since they launched. Yeah. Which is crazy. 1935, I read. Is it? It is, you know more than I do about the apples. Yeah. So just thinking about your leadership and the way in which you've kind of made some of those changes and made the work kind of better. Give me a sense of, like, you know, how you think about leadership, how you've sort of shown up to Publicis Groupe in the year or so that you've been there, and how you've kind of driven that change through the UK business. First and foremost, it was about getting to understand the businesses, getting to understand the people leading them, and getting a sense of kind of where we were and what the potential could be. And then coming back to them with a plan, which I did after a few months of being there, as to what I thought we needed to do, what we needed to focus on. So I've put in place a number of programmes and initiatives around talent to show the leaders that this is important and to try and push us forward on that. So we've done a few things, like we've put a lot of effort and resource into a cross-group mental health programme, so that people have got places to go, they've got resources they can turn to. They're aware that we're aware that this could be a challenge for some people. And at the moment, we're going through a process of training managers on how to handle mental health issues, how to spot them, and how to be sensitive to them, and how to help people. And at the end of the day, in a business like ours, it's always going to be about the people. So, you know, you've also got an interest in gardening. Where does that come from? It comes from my mum, who was an avid gardener, but she was kind of slapdash. It was, you know, bursts of flowers sort of all in random places around the garden. It was never really planned, and it was never very neat and tidy. It was sort of deliberately kind of messy. So I've kind of adopted that approach. That's your style as well? That's my style, yeah. Just, I forget what I've planted where, and then it suddenly comes up and makes me happy. Amazing. But it's where I go to relax. Yeah. And I know holidays and spending that time with your family is really important to you. Yeah, super important. I take all my holiday. Yeah, as we all should. Yeah. Do you take more than you should? I wouldn't want to commit that to film. One of the other big programmes that we've launched earlier this year is flexible working, which is a big decision for us. We launched it across the entire group, so across 5,000 people. We were very clear about what flexible working means and what the sort of tenets of it are. You know, the first one is trust, which is kind of key, but another one is boundaries, because if someone's working from home for some of their working day, then sometimes it could be harder to switch off than if you're at the office and you physically leave the building. And we've also trained managers around how to make flexible working work. That's a really big deal because it makes a huge difference to people. To some people it doesn't. They want to come to the office, they want to work in the office, and they want to go home.
If I've got a particularly heavy workload, I'll just spend a day working from home.
Well, yeah, because you don't get interrupted and, you know, you get more done.
You get more done.
And that's the whole point, about output. I mean, most creative people have got a story about how they came up with this, that or the other idea, you know, in their sleep or in the shower or on a run or driving around or whatever. So I think... you know, a lot of the legwork needs to be done in the office, but inspiration can strike at any point.
The one thing that we talk a lot about as well, you know, the culture of our businesses is essential. We are people-led organisations, and, you know, we come to work quite often because we enjoy working with the people that are there. Again, it's this balance of giving people the flexibility to do what they need to do to make their lives work for them, but still having enough people, for want of a better phrase, in the office to ensure that culture is vibrant and constant, and people want to continue to come to work.
And I think that the reality is that most people don't want to work from home all the time.
No.
They don't work in advertising or media or consulting. They haven't chosen those careers so that they can work at home. Most people in this business enjoy, like you said, enjoy being with other people.
Do you know much about flowers?
I know what most of these plants are.
I mean, I don't, but I've got something in my pocket.
You're going to use some Google.
So there's this thing called Google Lens. Have you heard of Google Lens?
Yes. We're going to put it to the test.
We'll test it on this. I've never seen this before. I don't know what it is. You start Lens, which is this button there.
It's a peony, by the way.
It's a peony. Thank you.
My goodness, that's amazing.
And it tells
it's a Chinese peony at that.
It's a Chinese peony at that. We're touching on creativity and sort of moving into sort of, you know, your brand new role as chair of the Creative Industries Trade and Investment Board. First person to do that role?
In that form,
In that form. Super exciting.
Yes, great.
Tell us a bit about what that means.
So the CITIB was created to get government and industry to work together better, to increase the exports of the creative industries. We've got quite tough targets over a 5-year period. So by 2023, we're trying to increase exports by 50%. And obviously that's against a backdrop of some quite challenging things that are going on in the world right now. But it's about coming together to develop a strategy, which we've just completed, which will be published soon, for us all to then live by over the coming years in terms of the things that we can do to help all types of creative business to export more.
OK, so to all types of creative business, what sits within that?
We've got people on the board ranging from fashion, advertising, television, film, publishing, music, with generally a common interest around creativity at large, but also this thing about increasing exports, which by definition will mean more successful businesses. So
just think about creativity in the round and, like, you know, the kind of things that we're going to be exporting. I think it's fair to say that creative has changed significantly, even if we just think about advertising. What's your perspective on how it's changed over the last sort of 5 years or so?
And it's largely down to technology. You would know that better than anyone. Technology and data, and people generally realising that data can be used to drive creativity in many different ways, whether that's...
I think, you know, you're absolutely right. I think, you know, there's a data piece, there's a willingness to test piece, and there's a technology piece. But the idea is that, you know, we can very, very quickly see with the data that we've got the engagement that those ads are actually going to find, and you know, you can very quickly start to understand the impact they're having on the audience. And so, you know, in real time almost, you can start to pivot that kind of creativity into the core strategy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the big idea is always going to come from humans, because the big idea is the idea that gets you here as well as here. So otherwise, you're just, you know,
you've got nothing. It's a fantastic place. Thank you for for bringing me here.
Glad you like it.
I could spend all day here.
I could too if I didn't have an agency to go back and run.
I'm going to start. I'm going to buy something. I feel I should. Anything you'd recommend?
Oh, all the glassware is absolutely lovely. You should
Okay.
get your wife some lovely vase
Okay.
that you can put the flowers in that you're going to buy her.
Okay, I shall do that.